what do you call yourself?
Often pitmaster.
Pitmaster?
Yes.
Or
professional barbecuer.
I'm worried about the master bit because it means you know what you're doing.
Well, I know which end of the tongs to use, right? I've got a few injuries and scars, right? So
you still have your hair.
You have hair on your arms. What is this?
No, I took it off.
What are you new to this?
I'm new to this anyway. So there's a few bits and bobs we need to do before we start. So you got your thermometer. You've been proving that. You calibrated that.
Yes.
Okay. What's missing?
Time. Beverage. Patience.
Yeah. But
coffee.
No. Safety first.
Oh, yes, sir.
Safety first.
Oh, we gotta look good.
Yeah?
Yeah, you look good? I look good.
I'm good. I've got the Bushveld attire from South Africa.
Yeah, but you've also got this here. So, and I'm sure that there's been stories where you've got debris. There's another story. Debris, barbecue debris. We'll talk about barbecue debris. So, yeah, you get stuff. Well, we don't want it on here.
No, but it's not barbecue debris. It's beard oil. Beard oil. There's a whole different. That's the reason why barbecuists have really nice beards.
Okay, this is where I think it's what you're saying is linguist. That's what you're saying barbecuist. Where I'm saying barbecue master because I'm also cooking.
All right. Well, let's get safe.
Whichever way it is, let's go safe on.
So
okay, ready?
You're gonna
what are we doing
for me?
No, well, you got there's right there. There's mine right there.
Okay.
And they're a little funky, these aprons.
So let's distinguish the professional from the amateur.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, you go.
Ready?
Yeah. Go. Oh shoot! I broke mine. Hang on a second.
You broke an apron?
I broke mine. I just want to say, this is the House of Q apron.
Yes, sir.
And it lets you down the very moment you...
No.
Huh?
Right.
That's what I was talking about. Good. So I'm getting dressed by House of Q. Here's a big question I know many people are asking out there. Because we love our good friends at Yoders.
Yes, we do.
But it's very technical equipment because it's high-end competition machines. Once you tell people about the price of this thing, you need to be really committed to barbecue. So I thought it might be good for us to start off and have a bit of a walkthrough so that we can understand what a Yoder is.
Yep. You pay for what you get, definitely, but these are definitely high quality, heavy steel gauged production awesome cookers. So, but there's different technologies behind them, Hendrik. And so within the Yoder family, there's wood burning units,
which is what we have.
Yes,
old school
stick burners.
Yeah.
And you can almost put in that category charcoal, right? / charcoal burning units. And then there's the whole pellet line technology, a little bit more electronics and technology involved in them. So,
but there's also a word that stuck with me, and that is they talk about cookers now, not about smokers anymore. Is that just marketing stuff, or is there another angle to that?
I think it's because of the crossover. So, for example, the flat top right here, the Yoder Smoker's flat top, it's a smoker because I'm smoking on it right now. There's a brisket in there, which is going to be awesome. However, you can easily convert it to a grill and sear your steaks, your chicken, whatever you're grilling with. So that's why I think there's softening of that word or barbecuist terminology. That's what it is.
That's right. So I'm so glad he's learning fast. This guy's learning fast. So we'll get the flat top. We can grill. We can smoke. We can cook. The way I'm trying to explain to people here is there's heat at the bottom, but it works like a convection oven, effectively. So you can bake in it as well.
Absolutely. Bake, roast, sear, smoke, cold smoke at times if you want to, sausage and cheese and whatever you want to cold smoke. So diverse flexibility. But I think one of the things that's really fundamental in all of that is knowing when you want to cook something directly or indirectly.
Yes.
And for the backyard cooks, that's a real key skill of knowing that I want to sear a steak, therefore it's direct. If I want to smoke a brisket or my ribs or a pork butt, that's indirect.
Direct cooking,
Yep.
Flame underneath.
Yep.
Indirect cooking, flame somewhere else, heat is doing it.
That's correct.
Just the convection or the air is doing the cooking.
That's correct.
Right. And here's the funny thing. Smoke doesn't cook.
No, it doesn't. It's a flavor. It's actually ash and particulate and humidity and moisture and all kinds of things that are in that what we see as smoke.
So smoke doesn't cook because people say, oh, I'm going to smoke this until it's good. It's not, because it's the flavor, and that's where people are overdoing it.
That's right.
They're getting way too much smoke on it. But I'm digressing. We're getting onto recipes again. You got two machines here.
We got so many things to talk about.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, we do have two machines here. Yeah.
Yeah, there's lots more, but the principles are the same. So I'd like you to run me through some of this. What do we have here?
This is a Yoder Smoker's YS 1500, a pellet cooker. It is in the design of an offset smoker. So you have a cooking chamber with the stack on the one end, and the controller hopper is on the left-hand side.
So you're putting pellets in there?
Pellets are in here, just like this.
This is where the cooking's happening?
That is where the cooking is happening.
That's where the
and
air
the stack
goes
is
up.
off in there.
Now you use YS 1800?
This is a 1500. 1500 square inches of cooking space.
640, I know. There's a 480.
480. And then the
So-
Cimarron will be the largest pellet cooker
So-
or stick burner. It's
So once you
available
get to
both models.
master level, does the numbers go higher? Is that the idea?
More space.
Oh, is that how it works?
Always buy bigger.
Yeah.
Here's a tip. I would describe to a new barbecue enthusiast to master fire. And if you don't know how to master a fire and control it and temperature and what's a clean fire as versus a dirty fire and so on and so forth, is starting with a charcoal unit.
Yeah.
Because if you know and understand how to do that, that skill is very transferable to almost any technology that you would use on a type of smoker or grill or so on.
So those are for the barbecue enthusiasts. We've got barbecuists and we got masters. So
You gotta start a list.
Yeah, but hang on a second. This master the fire idea is a novel idea. But the reality is, you're talking pellets now. Are we still mastering fire with pellets?
Well, if you don't understand it, so for example, if you want to rapidly increase your temperature, right, and you need to understand how you would do that, right? And so a fundamental lesson is everybody learns this in high school and how we forget this stuff. And so we need two things for fire: carbon and air. So can you control the amount of carbon?
Good air.
Good air, yes, of course.
Oxygen air.
Oxygen
Yeah.
air, burnable
Yeah.
air, fuel, right?
That's it.
So the carbon you can control, but the air at times, that's where the mastery comes in. So that's controlling your dampers and things of that nature. So for example, in the pellets, so if you need more temperature, which is like, okay, that means something went awry, right? So you need more there, you need more fuel. And you can't control the air, but you can control the volume of carbon or fuel that goes into your fire.
Awesome.
Technical stuff.
We're going to get to that later.
Yeah.
Because the whole idea here is we're kicking off a series of programs. So for
Okay.
those of you that watches this, Two Cowboys, House of Q. What do we call that? This thing we're coming up with here.
House of Cowboys? No.
No.
House of Cowboys who Q?
No, Cowboys Q.
It's getting long.
Q Cowboys.
Q Cowboys?
I don't know. That's the answer. Give us a name. This is a collaboration. This is an opportunity to learn about barbecue, but not just learn, have a lot of fun.
Sure.
Okay, good. So you're going to teach me about these cookers?
Yes.
All right, let's do a walkthrough.
Okay.
I want to do a walkthrough. I understand what a Yoder is all about.
What is a Yoder all about? So on the pellet side of the cookers that are available from Yoder smokers, there is a control unit here. Think of it as a computer, or just like your controller, the knob that would be on your oven inside your house,
Okay.
or right? So you would turn the power on, of course, turn it to the temperature that you want to cook at, say 300 degrees, 275 degrees, and then hit the start button.
We need power.
You need electricity.
That's a difference. So
We
you
will
have a
need
pellet-
electricity.
Why do you need electricity with a pellet smoker?
So the electricity will monitor not only the power of the computer, but the auger. It will push the pellets in at a controlled rate into where it's burning them. So these are the pellets right
Yeah.
here. They're extruded sawdust.
So it's environmentally friendly yet again.
This is perfect, and
Yes.
it's a great fuel.
Yes, because we
to
struggle
use.
to get good wood.
We
Be
do.
honest, we do. Even here in the Okanagan, we can't get really good
We're in
smoker wood.
Canada. We got a lot of trees here, but we have all
Yeah, but
softwood.
you can't cook with it.
No, well,
No.
well, cherries and maple and stuff like that. Absolutely.
Little hardwoods and your fruit woods. So
And they're an awesome fuel, but they also taste different. So depending on what type of tree that it is in there and it's blended, so oak or hickory or maple or on and on and on, that gives you different flavors, and it's great to experiment with that.
Yeah.
But on the Yoders, the controller sets, okay, I need more fuel. So it'll turn the auger. This is why that electricity is in there. It'll go, okay, a little more pellets into the fire pot right down here in the bottom, and that's what's burning.
any fan in there?
There's two fans, not one, but two.
Yeah.
So all pellet cookers are convection cookers, meaning they have fans in there to push the air through the cooking chamber. And so in this instance, let's see if we can see something in here. Don't know if this will show up on the camera. I'll open the damper and you can see hopefully the light burning in the fire pot. Right above the fire pot, Hendrik, is a plate all the way across the cooker. So the fire pot is blowing onto that plate and it's circulating the air all around the cooking chamber. So it's indirect, right? I have the option of taking those out and cooking directly, for example, searing a steak or some chicken or something like that. But for me, I leave them in there all the time and cook on this particular cooker always indirectly.
Thermal mass.
Thermal mass,
That's
thermal
the word.
energy.
That's another technical term that we're introducing here, because if you have that plate at the bottom and that plate heats up, it evens out your temperatures across your cooker, but it also keeps it more consistent, that it doesn't go high up and down.
Up and down. So as you're cooking, you open the lid. You got to do stuff in there. Maintenance, twist or turn, spritz, put something on, take something off, check a temperature. When you open the lid, you're losing a lot of temperature, right? So that mass that's in there, the solid steel, go ahead and close that. You know that this is a heavy lid, right?
It is.
So the thing about Yoders is that they're solid steel.
Listen to that. Just
Like
I want to listen to that.
Okay, listen. Clunk, right? So heavy steel, and that will allow the cooking environment to recuperate to its cooking temperature very quickly. Come back to that active temperature. If you've got some really thin metals and things of that nature, it's very difficult to come back, and you can even lose your fire because of that capacity to keep that energy in the cooker.
It's particularly important in Canada because we have cold winters, and if this thing is thin,
yes,
tiny metal,
yes,
all your energy is going to try and get this thing hot the whole time. It
that is
doesn't
correct.
contain thermal mass.
That's correct.
Again where we go with that. All right, good.
Yeah.
So we got ourselves our controller. We got a little pellet. What do you call that?
A hopper.
Hopper
Of the fuel,
Yeah.
the hopper of the pellets. The controller is telling me what's going on for temperature, the cooking chamber,
right,
and the vent stack.
We got some thermometers here.
Thermometers. They tell you the temperature at the bottom grate level, the top grate level, and left and right. And one of the hardest rules is in pellet cookers is to kind of use this as a guideline, but to ignore them. It's the hardest thing. It's like staring at the sun or something. You're just like, all of a sudden you're always looking at it. There's other analogies I can use, but I'm refraining.
Focus.
Yes.
Focus.
Okay.
Let's get some
there you
focus
go.
going.
Right. Yes. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Two things sitting here. I can stare at them. Right. And it might drive you nuts. But always go by the controller that's right here. Set the temperature and start cooking.
Good. Obviously, chimney.
The stack.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
We
stack.
call it chimney where we come.
A chimney. Well, yes. Okay. So the thing on pellet cookers is the pressure in the cooking chamber is coming from the two fans that's on the hopper. So that will give a certain volume of pressure inside the cooking chamber. Thus the heavy lid and so on, and it's in there. The stack right there is usually wide open and never closed or adjusted because there's enough pressure inside the cooker to circulate the air in the inside.
When we use our stick burner,
Yep.
it's a little different because now you're working with convection. You're trying to get that Venturi.
You're controlling that
Another term,
draft, right?
Venturi
Exactly.
effect to pull it through. Same idea, and you actually find that the stack or the chimney on stick burners are actually bigger.
Correct.
They're bigger, and
that draws the air through.
Good.
So in this instance on pellet cookers, there's nothing to draw through. There is a fire going on the inside, but it's very difficult to get that natural draft through it. That's why the fans are there, to push it through the cooking chamber.
all of this makes a whole lot of sense, and this is why Yoder caught our attention, because our temperature control is more precise.
Yep.
Access to fuel is easier because it's hard to find good quality hardwood, and frankly, it's expensive. You can pay anything up to $2.50 a kilo for wood.
Yep.
Not even talking about charcoal, because charcoal is a whole different conversation. Thirdly, you got a really consistent quality of temperature that you get in your chamber,
Which is great for Canadians in the snow and the cold temperatures and the wind and the sleet and everything else that we face.
There you go.
Go out and cook.
And you can cook just about anything in it, because you can sear, you can bake, you can. It's
Your cookies, your bread, your pasta, like all these different dishes that you can cook in a smoker.
We're talking about price, and I know the first thing people look at, they say, "Wow."
Yeah. Why would I do that when I got this as a comparison as they shop?
Yeah, because you can buy a little Weber, which I know people have won competitions on,
Yep.
for less than $300.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Why this? This is, I mean,
Yeah.
let's just set the price bracket there. Where do we start with these babies?
So there's let's call it entry level, medium level, and Cadillac versions of things.
The master level.
Yeah, you pay for performance. So you could easily do lots of analogies here. Of you're going back years ago of the import Russian car called the Lada, if anybody remembers that
Niva,
one, right?
it was called the
there you go,
Niva.
right? They were fantastic, weren't they?
Yeah.
I know they
Yeah.
were. Yeah, they were horrible,
Falls
right?
Off, you put them right back.
Yeah, exactly.
Engine falls out, you just put them
Duct tape.
It's
Okay.
like a V-duct.
Okay. So
Yeah.
there's that, right? So in the middle of the line, it's some of them as versus like you've got your Lamborghinis and Porsches and a high end type of a comparison
Mercedes.
type of things, right? But you pay for performance that's there. So not to exemplify Yoder as out of reach and out of touch, but it is you pay for the performance that's there. So on those $300 cookers that are charcoal, you perfect to start with. And I started off with those, and I used them for 5 or 6 years as we were starting competitively. We had 5 of those, and then we moved to ceramics for 4 or 5 years. And then one of the things that I was missing and why I went with the Yoder, particularly the pellet technology, was the convection. I wanted more airflow for more of my competition results that I was looking for, and you paid for that.
Here's the joke. My opinion, at least.
Sure.
You go for a cheaper braai,
Yeah.
or barbecue, or smoker. The challenge is you need to be a lot gooder, better, more masterful, more skillful to cajole good food out of those little cookers.
There's a barbecuist term, a gooder. Did
Yes.
you say gooder or better? No, you said a gooder. There it is.
So my point is, you can, but there's a lot of work that goes into those other technologies to actually get really good quality cooking out of that,
Yeah.
than to use something which is built for a higher end capability.
Yep.
So the other thing is it's going to last. I know those little ones. I change them some of them don't even last a year, because especially when
Yep.
there's some of the ceramic coatings and things on it, it chips off, and once it chips, it starts rusting, and then
And there's no way to fix it.
no way to fix it. But these things, the electronics can maybe go, and I know that Yoder updates those things. That it just came
From
out
time
with
to
a new
time.
board. Yeah.
Yep.
But as far as steel is concerned, it's steel.
They're steel, and just like an offset cooker, they're literally steel. They're not aluminum. They're not powder coated or anything of that nature, but they're steel. So with the heat and change, all of that contracting, expanding, so on and so forth, metal fatigues and paint wears off on that. Sand it, paint it, done. There
Done.
you go.
Same thing. I find on a big cookers that it warps a little because of the overtime. And I talk about decades here, because our cooker is 10 years old already.
Yep.
So every once in a while when it's warm, you just have to make sure that lid closes properly again. But that's really the kind of maintenance we're looking at. So Yoder,
Yep.
high end.
Yep.
I ran through it, but I really like that. This is a braai, and you need to come back. We're going to talk a lot more about this one.
Yep.
Good. My friend, you want a Yoder?
I love my Yoders.
You want a Yoder?
Yeah, I make the Yoder look good, and Yoder makes me look good.
There you go. Let's go Yoder. I'll see you later.